It's the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 3. And it reads, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Call Loyim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rachak, Kodash Brakatham. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. This is Brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Brother, I believe his page is GMS Endure These Last Days. He posts a lot of videos, very good information. So through the Spirit, hope the brother don't mind, but a lot of the videos that he posts spark, the Spirit gets to moving, and I think of scriptures. So, just piggybacking off of some, taking the assist that the brother threw out, Lord willingly. But, because this is pertinent. They going into all this bullshit that's being talked about, these celebrities, goofy ass lives, and, them, trying to basically, terrorizing Kyrie Irving, but yet still it's so many other things that's going on in your face, but being, basically taking a back seat to, the news that's really not pertinent. Important information is, like I said, being overshadowed by some bullshit. So, I think it's Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck has a podcast or whatever. And, I'm just going to play this copyright disclaimer. So, because I'm using it just to teach, I'm not profiting from it, lining up, things with the scriptures. And, it hit me through the Spirit. You got all these people that's called themselves, truthers, or, it tells you in the scriptures how the tongue shall fall upon themselves. So you got their own people exposing them, exposing the agenda and saying things. But the reason why we're so hated and basically why they come against us so much is because we're marrying what's going on to the scriptures. And that's dangerous to these godless people's mindset, because they are godless. They don't believe in the Most High. I just read 2 Thessalonians. The son of perdition is this devil, this red Hebrew-Mite, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. He thinks he's God. And that's why when you really take the time to think about the system that he's trying to put in place, a system where he can give or take away from you. He knows your every whereabout, what's going on. If you are integrated into the system, he'll know where you are at all times, what you spend your money on, what you're doing. Shit, you know what I mean? He's trying to play God. So bear with me for a second. I'm gonna play this copyright disclaimer, then I'm gonna play these videos. Lord willing, is edifying.
Ran into you. I first ran into you and your work. I don't remember where I saw you, but you were.
Salakia, I misspoke. This is the brother. Believe I used to think this brother was in the UK because he got the accent, but this is brother from the New York camp. One of the elder brothers in the New York camp. So Salakia for that. The brother from GMS Endure These Last Days. I think that's a Ephraimite or a Northern Kingdom brother, but long story short, I believe, I could be wrong, Salakia, but I did a video about, he posted Edomite woman bragging about the sea hip. So Salakia, for the confusion, I mixed them up. This brother, I forgot this brother's name, but he makes very edifying videos. So Salakia, just to clear up the confusion.
And this is something that, again, I think I was talking about this in the 90s and saying,
It's been going on a long time.
yeah, long time. And saying that this is what life is going to head towards, and it's not good, and we should probably have a conversation now. You know, we are on the verge of this. This is happening. It could
faster
happen
than ever. Yeah.
Yeah, it could happen 20, 25, 30, 35. It's here now.
Yeah.
Explain what transhumanism is and why it is so dangerous.
Yeah, so I'll just probably start with the history of it. So there was a man named Julian Huxley. He's the brother of the famous author Aldous Huxley. He was president of the British Eugenics Society. The United Nations is created after World War II. He is put in charge of UNESCO. In writing his vision for UNESCO, Julian Huxley says about eugenics, we need to make the unthinkable thinkable again. 10 years later, he coins the term transhumanism in a book called...
Did he read his brother's work?
I'm sure, actually, that Aldous Huxley's work was influenced by the type of social milieu he inhabited, which would include his brother, and, you know, sort of those intellectual circles where both of them grew up, right? Okay. You know, this is the British aristocracy, and really a lot of the idea of eugenics going back to Francis Galton and, you know, Darwinism and all of that, it seems to sort of emanate from there.
Fabian socialists and all of that.
Yes. So in a book in 1957, I believe, called New Bottles for New Wine, something like that, Julian Huxley coins the terms transhumanism and talks about how the new eugenics is going to be merging man with machine. So this is basically eugenics rebranded, and a lot of people that funded eugenics causes of the past, like the Rockefeller family, are, you know, big proponents of...
And so, you know, now you can understand why I came up with, you know, I not came up with, but basically started a lesson with 2 Thessalonians, because at the end of the day, you know, it tells you in this, you know, in the book of Ezekiel, how this man wants to play God. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28. I'm going to start at verse 2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrese, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a power. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the sea. Yet thou art a man and not a power, though thou set thine heart as a heart of the Most High. So this man wants to play the Most High God. You know, now this is a twofold scripture, because it's talking about the ancient Prince of Tyrese, but it's also talking about the modern day Prince of Tyrese, which is this red Hebrew Edomite. You know, verse 3, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. So, you know, it tells you in the book of Luke that the children of this world are wiser than the children of light. Who are the children of light? You read, Slaki, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians. You're the children of light because you was given these laws, statutes, and commandments. You was given the light, this wisdom, this knowledge. You know, and, you know, we're being punished because we chose to reject, you know, what we were given. You know, we chose to basically want to, we envied the other nations, put it like that. You know, we didn't keep our agreement when we agreed to, you know, take on the laws, statutes, and commandments of our power, you know. So when, you know, when you go walking through this, walking this truth, and you going through your different trials and tribulation, you know, you got to understand it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's swallowable. It's doable, because, you know, you got to understand when you're suffering, you know, everyone's lot is different in this truth, because, you know, men are built differently. You know, all men are not built the same. You know, King David shows you that. King David did things, or he committed a sin I could think of the top of the head that was worthy of death, because the fact that Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, the Most High, loved David, he basically allowed him to, you know, a sin that would put anybody else to death. He, you know, and the Lord can do that. You know, that's the, you know, because it's in his might, it's in his power. You know what I mean? If the Lord can make a person crippled, You know, if the Lord could kill a child, you know, why couldn't he, you know, spare one? You know, it tells you in the scriptures he raises up one and takes down another. You know? So, you know, anyhow, verse 4, with thine wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and thy by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of Yahweh. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee. There's multiple scriptures are talking about how you know, this kingdom, you know, Daniel is one that just popped in my head. You know, it talks about how the Most High basically the saints shall take the kingdom, roughly paraphrased. You know, who are the saints? Book of Psalms chapter 149 tells you the saints of the Most High are the Israelites. You know, so back in the video.
Of transhumanism today, and it's getting increasingly problematic. I would say, you know, if you look, for example, at the new head of the FDA, who very few people have bothered to look into, Robert Califf, he's a former Google Health executive. Google Health has a joint venture with GlaxoSmithKline called Galvani Bioelectronics. I think the former head of that was Moncef Slaoui, who was in charge of Operation Warp Speed, and their focus is what they call bioelectronic medicine, which is, you know, injectable nanotechnology that can manipulate your central nervous system. What are the implications of that? We have the person that just purchased Twitter, making a brain chip company. He's also a major contractor to the U.S. military. He has a major conflict of interest with Chinese.
Why? Because it's the technology. You got to remember that America or Babylon the Great, aka America, is basically, you know, basically, you know, Moab, you know, which is the proper name for, you know, the so-called Chinese. You know, it's like a technology race basically, because all these nations are trying to implement these systems, because the world is, you got to understand, it's one system that's going to be used worldwide. So everybody's trying to build the infrastructure, you know, and it's already up and running to a degree in China, you know, because of the fact, you know, you got a social credit system, you got, you know, I forgot what that's called, but basically the cameras in the sky that can, you know, record and monitor you, and basically they can take out your money. You know, you got people already basically paying with their phones. You got cashless stores, which they're trying to implement here. Let me see what else. So, you know, when this devil's sitting up here talking about take this you know, this jump shot, you know, why do you think he pressed that so hard? Then you had all these adverse reactions to it. You know, you know, so you can never trust this devil. You know, when you go into the scripture in the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10, it reads, "Never trust thine enemy." You know, especially our people, they forget that how your forefathers got over here. You forget how literally, you know, I mean, you know, I don't see how you forget. Just within the last 2 years, you've had a lot of our people. You know, you got to remember just this George Floyd thing, and regardless of if this man was on drugs or whatever the case may be, regardless of the fucking fact, this man didn't deserve to lose his life because he was on drugs. So fuck Kanye and fuck the Edomite that sit up there. You know, everybody's trying to justify something. You know, you got Edomites that literally be on drugs all the fucking time. You know, you had an Edomite that literally killed basically a whole church full of people, and he wasn't taken down. And you know, it's funny too, because it's always an Edomite that'll do something, you know, violent, but yet and still he ends up going into custody. Jake will literally be putting the gun down and get killed. That's not by coincidence. You know, back into the video.
Silicon Valley equivalents like Tencent, and you know,
he says, and I love this. He says, that's one of the reasons why I want to get off the planet. He says his work is to find a way to compete against the transhumanistic, you know, folly. You don't believe that at all?
I don't.
Well, that's the spirit, because I just made a statement with the scripture about never trust thy enemy. You know, like I say, when you go into this guy, you know, they was showing images of his Halloween costume. He had an image of Baphomet on it. You know, you see him in that Iron Man movie, and then now all of a sudden I think it was Iron Man 2, or it was either Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3, but now he's literally like they equate him to like the real life Tony Stark. They like say you had the one gala you went to where he had the pyramid with the all-seeing eye. These people like to make mockery of you people. A lot of people, and that's why they call a lot of people simple, and sheeple and shit.
Buy it, no. If you look at
They go to,
that company,
the
they
image
had
right there.
animal trials. Many of the monkeys that was tested and died after the brain chip was put in. If that were my company, I would reformulate everything or shut it down if it was going to kill that many animals, but it's already moved into human trials. I mean,
even though it's killing all the monkeys.
Well, it killed many monkeys. I forget the exact number, but a significant portion.
This is where it gets frightening.
Well, it's tied up with depopulation, right? You have this being sort of the new path of eugenics, and so I don't think these people ultimately care about how many people are left, right?
Smart and right.
Well, eugenics is.
You.
I mean, people like to act like eugenics disappeared, and it hasn't. It's just rebranded. And if you look at the history, it's very clear, and it's very disconcerting.
That's why everything you're seeing that is coming out of policy all over the world, all of the World Economic Forum seems so malthusian.
Canada, the medically assisted death originally was going to be for terminally ill people. Now people are pitching it to homeless people in Canada, saying you're too poor to live. Do you want to kill yourself?
How do we not remember what happened last time?
Well, I think some of these people, you look at the Rockefellers, they funded what happened last time. Yeah. A lot of that money that was used to set up the Nazi eugenics program came from the Rockefeller Foundation, and that's a matter of record. They've tried to go back and say, oh, we're sorry, but they're funding a lot of this stuff now.
And I like the verse he used. He said, "But of the time and the seasons, brother, ye have no need that I write unto you," because it tells you in Romans chapter 13. Matter of fact, let me get it. Knowing that it's high time to wake out of sleep. You know what I mean? You should know that we are in those times, that we in the end, There's many of scriptures that go into that, Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And it reads, and that knowing the time that now is it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe, because these things must come to pass before our Lord and Savior, literally Yahushua HaMashiach, comes to deliver us. You got to understand, this is the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua's script, and everything's gonna play out how he envisioned and set it up to be. It tells you in the book of Sirach chapter 18, all things bend to the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So you got these devils that these deceivers that are quick to utilize and tell these lies, but these people are godless. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 6. Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua upon the children of disobedience. And who are the children of disobedience? It tells you in the scriptures about, of course, our people were disobedient because we took on the law, statutes, and commandments. But I believe it's Psalm chapter 50 talks about how the devil tried to take on the law, statutes, and commandments. And it says, "Who are thou to declare these thy statutes and commandments?" These are the children of the wicked. You know what I mean? The ungodly people. I'm gonna get this other video.
It's a new day in online privacy, and it seems that everyone is being tracked, profiled, analyzed.
Which we know nothing.
I just want to play this part.
God? No.
So do you believe in God?
No.
Okay, so you don't believe in God.
The word is problematic. There are two kinds of gods.
He said the word is problematic, and that's not, that's that man's opinion. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, the word is simple. You just a disobedient. You go into this man's lifestyle. This man is a ABCDEFG person. You know what I mean? This man has made many of blasphemous statements, and he's promoting this transhumanism. And that's why I played that. And I just really wanted that part about him saying he doesn't believe in God. But yet and still, this man is behind pushing a lot of the stuff onto people that do believe in the Most High God. You know what I mean? His belief is going to basically affect your belief. And that's where the clash is going to come. This is the book of Psalms chapter 36 and verse 1. The transgression of the wicked saith within my heart, that there is no fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua before his eyes. For he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found hateful. Verse 3, the words of his mouth are iniquity, and deceit he have left off to be wise and to do good. He have left off to be wise and to do good. Because it tells you in the scriptures that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. He doesn't even believe in wisdom. He devises mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. These men are plotting on their beds to bring in a system where they can track, trace, and monitor everything on the planet. You know what I mean? Which is actually a foolish idea, because it's going to be repercussions that come with that. Where is the Psalms 53? This is the book of Psalms 53. This is what I wanted. In verse 1, the fool have said in his heart, there is no God. Corrupt are they, and have done abominable iniquity. There is none that doeth good. And that's these people, these red Hebrew Edomites. It tells you in the book of Malachi chapter 1 that literally the border of wickedness is Edom. This is the book of Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25. And it reads, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times. Because at the end of the day, the Most High has set this devil up and given him his power. It tells you in the book of Job, chapter 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Because the Most High actually controls the righteous and the wicked. But the wicked are, their time is short. It talks about the son of perdition being revealed, and right now it's, it's so spiritual, because right now, the Lord used individuals who put it on their spirit, Kyrie and Kanye, to make these statements, and now you got, although, Kanye and they say Kyrie tried to apologize, but at the end of the day, he didn't apologize the way that they wanted, to the point where they're rumoring that he may have to retire. And I was just bringing that out. I said, literally, the Lord used him, because with great power is great responsibility. Well, much is given, much is required. Salakia. That's in the scriptures. I think it's Luke chapter 12. Well, much is given, much is required. So, these men had wealth on this side. But, you got to understand, you trying to have wealth in another man's system. That man, these devils gave you that wealth. They could take it away. And they showed you that with Kanye. So you understand, I was often thinking about, like, Kanye is a billionaire, supposed to have all this money, could go get any woman he wants, supposedly. He could do all these things he wants, supposedly. I remember they said he punched the paparazzi. He wasn't charged with nothing like that, or, he probably paid the dude off or whatever. But he can't even see his kids when he wants. Another man was fucking his wife or his ex-wife in his house. This is the kind of fucked up place we live in. So this devil literally have spoken words against the Most High. He said he made a statement talking about basically a visible God in the sky, and these people are fucking demons, and basically these devils are gonna try and come with that system to basically track everything. This is the book of Revelation chapter 13. I'm gonna get to the point. Well, I'm gonna start I'm going to start at verse 3, Revelation 3:3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast, because the beast is the system of nations. And, the nations are, NATO and the EU today, So, the Roman empire back then was that beast that was wounded and dead, because it basically had, went out of power, but now it's healed because, when you look at America and because America is the whore that ride upon the beast, because America is basically the head of, NATO. You know what I mean? They push the policies and whatnot. With the philosophies that come out of Babylon the Great have basically drunken, or have the whole world drunken. It says, verse 4, and they worshiped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemies against Yahweh, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. I'm skipping. Verse 12, Revelation 13 and 12. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doth great wonders, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which is technology. The people really believe in, the miracles that he doing, because they believe in this technology. That's why you have people without hesitation just go inject something into their system without, without even seeing, something that was basically experimental. You know what I mean? Based on, because there's so much they really worship this red Hebrew Edomite, the so-called white man. You gotta remember, it tell you. I mean, we brought that out many a times. Most vaccines take years to develop. This was something that was developed within 6 months. And then you got people really questioning, well, why am I sick? It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So he's going to create a system, and if you don't worship this system, then you're going to be basically ostracized out of society. Verse 16, he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. When you go into that word mark, it's charagma, meaning an incision, incision. So they're going to cut or incision into a body part. It might be your hand. It might be your, you got Elon Musk with his Neuralink, which is actually going into, your brain stem. Right hand or in the forehands, and that no man, verse 17, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So, you won't be able to participate in the economics of this society without receiving that mark. This was envisioned, and this is coming to fruition right now. Like I said, the video is just about transhumanism. So, that's man incorporating with technology, and they constantly saying it, but it's a heavy spell on this place. And that's why, Romans 13 talk about it's high time to wake out of the sleep. It tells you, I forgot where is it, no enchantment works on Jacob, roughly paraphrase. So, why you think the elect are waking up? Why you think the elect woke up? Because they came up out of the enchantment. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Salaki, if you are so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, and you are actually, understanding and hearing, and getting what is being spoken, then you may have woken up as well. And I suggest you come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of your power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Allah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Racha, Kodash Bakatam. Double honors to my apostles, the elders, a great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Mawaf, lababah, shalom.